Jamie here, Stretford, Paddock. This is Transfers Live. Joining me as always is my good friend Joe Smith, who is looking a little bit perturbed.
It's just shit after shit after shit tonight, isn't it? Basically.
It is. This isn't the brightest, the most breezy Transfers Live we've ever done. I'm not going to lie to you. We've got a few stories to get through.
Lie to me, Jay.
I'd like to lie to you, but alright, we've got a story about our current number 7, which isn't great.
It's disastrous.
It's disastrous, yes. In fact, there's no point in sugarcoating it. It's a fucking shambles. Looks like he could be missing quite a few games, some important ones as well, due to playing for Uruguay. We've got another story about our former number 7.
Memphis.
I wish, or even better, Alexis Sanchez or Michael Owen. No, Cristiano Ronaldo going to Manchester City. Looks like that's happening. So it might be time to just reassess how much you rate him in terms of, you know, the GOATs and all that sort of stuff.
Reassess your entire, if you're my age, childhood, or if you're Jay's age, you know, best years. Reassess all of them.
Some of my life.
Reassess all of that. Everything you thought you knew, throw it in the bin and start again. Oh, it's fun, isn't it? And then we've got Scott McTominay as well, who you thought we didn't need him, but he's going to be out for a while now as well. Yeah,
some people saying the audio was off, but I think it's back on now, so apologies if you couldn't hear anything. You should be able to hear us now. Yeah, we've also got, I mean, it is just a shambles, this. Yeah, like we said, McTominay having an operation. I mean, it's not great. The only sort of bizarrely sort of bright spark in the news that I feel tonight is Mason Greenwood not playing for England.
It's good for us, not good for
us. But yeah, we'll get into all it. It is as obvious as you all know, a live show. Get involved in the comments, hit like, hit subscribe, hit share, and remember who the real Portuguese legend is. Bruno Fernandes, yeah? So check out some of the merch we've got.
What's the website again? Is it paddockmerch.com?
It is, my friend. Go and check it out. There's a link in the description, so go and get involved. I mean,
he's the only one we can rely on, isn't he? Now?
He is. He's the only one that won't break your heart. Well, he hasn't yet anyway. Right, we'll start off with Edinson Cavani.
Oh, go on.
Because, I mean...
Get an haircut, man!
Yes. Uruguay, as you can see there from the graphic, insist Edinson Cavani will travel for internationals. This would mean that Cavani will miss United's fixtures. There could be 8 in September and October alone. He's obviously got international games with his country. It looked like he might miss 1 or 2, and now it looks like he could miss up to 8 for the Copa America. He's had the Copa America, but there's more international games coming up. And it's not just the amount of games, which could be 8. I mean, it's the ones he's missing as well.
So for anyone who doesn't know, what is going on here? Why would he be missing this many games? What is the situation?
Because he's got a quarantine on his return to England for 10 days. Yeah. Now, some governing bodies have sort of applied or tried to get it rescinded and tried to sort of lessen the amount of time they have to quarantine. That's not the case anyway here in the UK.
Because is Uruguay on the red list? Is that what it is? Something
I think so. Something like
basically,
that, yeah.
If you go there, you're as good as dead for a month.
Yeah. So he could miss up to, like I said, it can be 8 fixtures. So Uruguay have got...
Sorry, just to stop you there for a second. That's because there's 2 international breaks, one a month apart, isn't there?
Yeah.
Sorry.
So it's fine. So Uruguay have got 2 games in October, facing Colombia and Brazil. So he'll be out in for those, which means he could miss... Well, he would miss Leicester and Liverpool. They've also got internationals in November, January, February and March. Potentially add to the 8 club fixtures, which he could be absent for in the autumn.
Oh, God, Jay.
He's just missing...
He's going to miss 20 games!
Loads of games. I mean, it's just a mess. Do you know what I mean? It's like... Yeah,
we're finished.
We're just gonna be out without him forever, basically.
At least we've got Anthony Martial to play up front.
I mean, yeah, we're going to be reliant on Mason Greenwood, who's obviously 19 years old. We're going to be reliant on Anthony Martial, who got 4 Premier League goals last season and didn't look at the races at all against Southampton. Marcus Rashford, maybe when he comes back from his operation, you could put him down the middle, but it's not ideal. I mean, it is just a shambles. And Cavani, who we're all looking forward to playing in front of, to seeing in the flesh, many of us haven't, other than the ones who went to the Fulham game, being in front of a packed Old Trafford, and he's going to miss so many games, it's just unreal.
And the thing with this as well is, and again, I didn't see this said explicitly, so be prepared for down the line for this to change or whatever. The wording and the phrasing of the tweets and the news that I saw, to me, you know, what did you think? Suggested that Cavani wants to play these games as well. It's not like he's being picked against his will. It seemed to me that it was like they're insisting he comes, and because he put that picture up on Instagram, didn't he? Like, what the fuck's going on?
Yeah, it was like
when the Premier League clubs said that they wouldn't send their players away for international duty. He was like, what the fuck? So he obviously wants to play. They want him to play. If he goes and plays, and he misses, you know, hopefully there'll be changes in the listings and the categorisation of different countries by the time next year's internationals roll around. But if there isn't, and he misses, you know, electively, basically, 20 games for United this season, that's fucking shit.
Yeah, it's you're right. Sports Witness, I think you've been all over this. So basically, you've got, I think it's the sort of, is it the president or someone of the sort of Uruguayan international? Like they've been claiming that they've already bought tickets for him. He's already going. It's a done deal.
I love that. I've already bought my ticket now.
Yeah. And it said the president of the Uruguayan FA spoke about the matter, and he said, yesterday we spoke with Tabarez and tomorrow we're going to draw up the list with all the players. The tickets are already issued. I spoke with Cavani and I believe that the solution will come. As you mentioned here as well, in an Instagram post this week, the United Star showed his confusion over the Premier League's decision not to let the players travel for the international games. He obviously wants to play, and it looks like he could go and miss. So should Cavani travel to South America for the September matches and then face a 10-day hotel quarantine, he'd miss Premier League games against Newcastle and West Ham. He'd likely have to skip the the EFL Cup tie against West Ham, the Carabao Cup, and depending on how fit he is after his isolation, could sit out against Aston Villa. Uruguay then have two matches in October, with the last on the 12th against Brazil. If there was no change in the situation, he wouldn't be available for Leicester on the 16th and would likely miss Liverpool on the 24th. And then, as I said earlier, whilst the Champions League fixtures haven't been finalised yet, match day 1 is September the 14th to the 15th, which he would miss. And then the same would be the case with match day 3, which is October the 19th to the 20th. And it doesn't end there, with Uruguay also having internationals in November, January, February and March. That, to me, is bordering on a pretty useless player to Manchester United. Not in terms of his quality, in his availability. If you're missing so many games, and we are so reliant on him now, this isn't Odi Nagalo, who's like 5th choice.
No.
This is a guy who's probably, when everyone's fit, plays.
Yeah, and this is before any injuries, any red cards, any, you know, errant Instagram posts that go up in the next 12 months that may mean he misses more games like we saw last season. This is minimum. There's no, well, I say there's no way. There is obviously potential that things could change before maybe October, certainly before next year. But these September games, and then potentially those October games, are huge games. Leicester and Liverpool are huge games. It's so bad, this. And I know that, we're really egging up, and part of me, my extra sort of sadness and general dour personality at the minute is down to the Ronaldo stuff as well, and the last couple of weeks of the window where we got Sancho and Varane done so early. Varane still isn't fit to play. Sancho's barely played a minute. Now Ronaldo's going to City. They already got Grealish. Lukaku's gone to Chelsea. All the teams that last season were already better than us have now strengthened, except Liverpool, but they weren't better than us, have now strengthened, and we're sort of left where we were last year, and now with a whole new host of problems. It's just like, we seem like we were so close to being like, fuck, we're ready to go here. Now, we haven't got a DM in. Rashford's out for 3 months. I don't even know how long McTominay's out for. You mentioned the Wolves game specifically, which leads me to believe he'll be back pretty soon, but even so, he's missing games through injury. Cavani's going to be missing up to 8 games, you know, short term, maybe up to 20 games throughout the season. It's really worrying at the minute, all this.
It's more than worrying, and I know what you're getting at. It's just infuriating, because there has to be some sort of preparation or planned or knowledge of this potentially happening during this summer. We must have looked at it and gone, this is, you know, what's for the worst case scenario, what could happen? And it seems like we've not even considered this. And when you look at, like you say, the way the transfer window got off to where it started,
incredible,
with Sancho finally getting done, Varane sort of almost coming out of the blue.
Yeah. And
it's like, wow, we've got a world-class centre-back and a world-class winger. This is phenomenal. And now you've got a striker situation, which wasn't great anyway. So a lot of people thought we should actually go for a striker and maybe try and push the ball and go for someone like Harry Kane or whatever, which was always extremely unlikely.
Yeah.
But then to lose the number 9, I know he plays, he wears number 7, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And main number 9 for such a big chunk of games, and also the stop-start nature of it all.
Yeah.
He's going to come in, he's going to go out, he's going to come in, he's going to go out, he's going to quarantine, he's going to come back, he's going to be in, he's going to be out. And let's not forget, his injury record last season wasn't great. At one point, he missed 9 out of 10 games, I think it was. But admittedly, I think 3 of them were for a ban because of his social media post. But he still missed a chunk of games for injury. I mean, this is just shambolic. And what the sort of thing that really annoys me about this, the aspects that really annoys me is, I don't want Mason Greenwood to be so relied upon. Yeah. I rate Mason Greenwood. I think he's a ridiculous talent, but he's 19 years old, and he shouldn't be the guy where we all go, we need Mason. Without Mason, we're fucked. It shouldn't be like that already. Maybe in 3 or 4 years it will be, because he'll be banging in 40 goals a season. It's like, if we lose him, we're done. But right now, we're already there. You've got Anthony Martial, who could be useless this season. I'm not saying he is, but
on current form,
it could be.
He's worse than Igalo.
Yeah, he could be.
Yeah.
You said upstairs, we were chatting, and you said he could get you 3 out of 16.
Yeah.
He could. That's his form.
Yeah.
So you could be at a point where we can't rely on him. Marcus is still not fit, and also he's not a 9.
No.
So it's just Mason. And then what Mason plays, the Carabao Cup, the Champions League, the Premier League, and everything.
Especially when you look at, we've got West Ham in the Carabao Cup. You would think that's the sort of game, that you could maybe play Martial in. But you played so many against Southampton, who are far worse than West Ham these days.
Yeah.
And he was anonymous.
No.
Whereas, Martial against West Ham probably isn't going to get you the win. We want to be winning these games. It's literally like, at the minute, Martial is, playing the way he is, and he can turn it around. We know all this. He's essentially useless up front.
Yeah.
He was the other day. So,
I hope he turns it around.
Me too.
But it's hope rather than expectation.
Yeah.
And I've always said I'd give him another season, I'd give him this season. But he has to start performing soon, because he showed nothing at St Mary's. He just didn't. I like Tony M, but let's not pretend.
No.
I've seen some people say, back from injury, he made some decent runs, he did one good run. And then, he edited it and it was cleared off line in an hour of pretty much, other than that, anonymity. And when you looked at the runs Mason was making and trying to make things happen, you think, no, I don't want to get into the old debate about the Southampton game. We're getting some super chats. Ian Steele says it's mad how quick the wheels came off this season.
I know. 2 games in. I know. Lost yet.
I know, it is mad. Sean Patrick Madade has been a member for 9 months. Thanks for your support. Says, was watching Billy Connolly last night and he proper put me in mind of Joe. Hair, beard, fashion sense, funny. Who could forget? Very
Amazing.
Scottish. That's a heady compliment.
Incredible
I like
compliment. I absolutely love Billy Connolly.
I love Billy Connolly. He's so funny.
Yeah,
Gaza7 UK says Borussia Dortmund have opened talks with Manchester United and bid to sign Diogo Dalot, according to Sky Sports News, so we'll have a look at that one.
Interesting.
Danny says, if he is away that much, think I'm good, Cavani going, and he's going for CR7, even if it's just to piss on City's chips. We'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah.
Danny Shields says, Eddie out, Ronnie in, he already received special treatment in pre-season. This feels like a breach of contract. I mean, yeah, he was given an extended holiday, wasn't he, because of just to spend time with his family, and I get that. I'm massively, I advocate players should be able to see the family, especially when they've not seen him, as Cavani didn't, because he was over here and he couldn't travel, or certain members of his family couldn't travel because he signed him in lockdown or whatever. But this transfer, from start to finish, has been fraught with issues.
Yeah.
When he arrived, we got him late, so he couldn't play the Newcastle game because he had to quarantine. Then he got banned for an Insta post after the game Southampton, I think it was, when he scored. Which you could argue, all right, it's not his fault or whatever, but it's not great.
No.
Like, whoever you want to point a finger at, that isn't a good situation. Your player getting banned for what's considered to be a racist post. So there's that. Then there's the injuries.
Yeah.
Then there's this thing now where, okay,
then he's had extra time off.
He's had extra time off. We've said let him have extra time off, which could have cost us points.
Yeah.
And then also, now you've got this scenario where he could not be available for almost half the season. I mean, it just does seem shambolic. As someone mentioned there, I've got the chats, by the way, I've got the chats here, Erin, up on my screen. Yeah, it just does seem like it is a bit of a shambles, and, I really just can't get my head around what is going on at Manchester United.
There is a point, and again, I never like pointing at a person and saying you're doing something wrong, but there is part of you that thinks it's a bit of a piss take at some point. It's a bit of a piss take, all this. Like, it's like he's doing us a huge favour by playing for us.
Yeah.
And I really like him, and I don't know the situation, and I don't know all the details, but it's like, come on, fucking just play for us. Like, I know that, you're toward the end of your career, you're not going to play for Uruguay forever. In your head, probably playing for Uruguay means more than playing for Manchester United. But we're the one that pay you all your fucking wages. I don't know what they pay you at Uruguay, if anything, but I know, for instance, the England team donate their wages to charity. I don't know if there's a similar thing at Uruguay. They certainly ain't paying him what we're paying him. Do you know what I mean? You just think he's so clearly putting them first. Obviously, I'm not Uruguayan. Maybe if I was, I would think differently. But this part, I just think, just fucking play for us instead. Like, it's maybe do one, not the other, or something. Like, there's just been a Copa America. You're gonna play in the World Cup. Just play for United. I mean, obviously that's with such a biased hat on. I appreciate that and I respect that. But as a selfish United fan who wants United to win and, to be honest, doesn't really mind if Uruguay don't, it's just annoying, isn't it? And I just want to play for us. I don't really care if he plays for Uruguay.
No, I'm the same. I'm not exactly lying awake at night wondering how Uruguay are getting on in whatever games they're playing half the time. I don't even know what games they are playing in. So I couldn't care less, to be honest with you. I'm not being dismissive, but why would I?
Yeah.
And it's just infuriating. Glenn F, who's been a member for 6 weeks, says, we pay his funk wages. Good point, well made, sir.
And the same thing would be the case, by the way. It's not a Uruguay-England. If Greenwood did the same thing for England, I would say at some point you need to play for United. It's not just because I don't care about Uruguay and I would be different if it was England. It's just a United thing.
We've been had over with internationals.
Yeah, there's that as well.
Marcus delayed his operation. I understand why he did it, because you don't get many bites of the cherry.
That's slightly different because it's a major tournament.
And also, let's not pretend that Marcus and Cavani are coming into a level playing field here. One's basically played injured for the last year, and probably longer for United, and played about 200 games despite being only 23. Another one's played half a season. So there is a difference there. Mike Smalling, thanks for upgrading your membership to the first team. Got a video for members coming out tomorrow. We'll get into Ronaldo, because there's loads of comments, and it's obviously the story that everyone's talking about. You can see from the graphic there. This is from Fabrizio Romano. It says Juventus still have no intention to let Cristiano Ronaldo leave on a free transfer. Goes on to say that Juventus want around 30 million euros, and that's what they're asking for. There was sort of earlier today, it looks like City weren't going to pay that. Now it's moved forward. Some reporters are claiming that actually City are willing to pay that. I think it was Sky Sports even had it, where they were like, you know what, this is going to happen. United fans, I think there was one of their tweets was like, United fans might want to just turn off the telly, because it's going to happen. Now, for me, the thing with this, Joe, as you sort of mentioned it earlier as well, is I've never been a big one of like, get Ronaldo, or we're going to get Ronaldo, it's going to happen. I never thought it would come back. But I think now, you look at the Cavani situation, you look at the fact that Ronaldo coming back to United, if we'd have gone for him, would have been such a big boost for the fans, made us all happy. Because you would have been like, we've got Ronaldo, we need him. He could probably get you 20, 30 goals this season. And now he's going to our rivals and you're letting that happen. I just don't understand why. And also the fact, if you're looking at it from a marketing point of view and a money point of view, he would bring in revenue. He would. Like, everyone would be buying shirts or whatever, or just going out.
I might get this season's kit with Ronaldo on the back.
It'd just be like, there'd be a big sort of, it'd be like The Last Dance from Netflix, maybe, there'd be another special. And just to not even be in that conversation, when we obviously need him a lot more than our rivals do at getting him, it just seems so naive and stupid of the owners. And, we said it earlier, this season or this summer started off so well. Sancho and Varane, done within about a fortnight of each other. Right wing and centre-back sorted. Get a DM, maybe bring in back up as a striker, we're laughing. We've not brought in a DM, we've not brought a back up as a striker. City have gone out and got Jack Grealish. Now they're going to get Cristiano Ronaldo. I mean, it's almost like we're saying we're in a title race this season already. That's how it feels. And I don't want to be melodramatic, because like you said, we're 2 games in, but you have to be realistic as well. Have we got a title-winning squad compared to others at the minute? We're so light. We are. We're going to get into Scott McTominay a little bit later on. He's out. He's got an injury. He's got to have an operation. He played. He's had the operation today.
So. Yeah, I thought
he
so.
played. on Sunday. Obviously not 100%. So Ollie said he had a knock, but we played him anyway. I mean, it just feels like we're just getting a lot of things wrong when only a month ago we felt like we're getting them right finally. What do you think? What do you make? I'm going to ask you this about Ronaldo first, because obviously this is sort of your prime footballing years of watching and starting going on your own without your dad and all that sort of stuff. Teenager, was late teens when Ronaldo was in his pomp at United. How's this? How are you feeling about this, bro?
On a sort of personal level of like him playing for City, it is quite not upsetting. Like I'm going to cry upsetting, but there is an emotional sadness to it all. There definitely is. And him and Rooney. I mean, before my favourite player growing up was Van Nistelrooy, because that's when I really first started understanding it. He's sort of 8-9 years old. Van Nistelrooy signed for United when I was 8. I think it was 2001. He was my sort of, he was a striker. I was a striker at the time. All that, but when you get to the point where you go from just getting football to actually genuinely understanding it and having proper opinions and understanding the landscape of football and where your team is and the history of your team and that sort of thing, Ronaldo was by far the best player that has played for Manchester United in my life. And maybe Cantona you could put up there in terms of his sort of output and his efficiency and how much he changed the team. But in terms of single person quality, Ronaldo might be the best footballer of all time. Maybe, quite possibly is. And he played for Manchester United and he won a Ballon d'Or at Manchester United. To then leave Manchester United and have the career he's had, and he's always been that sort of the brother that moved away when you were younger. You're still close with him, but you don't, you're not going to be talking about him every day because he doesn't live here anymore. It's that kind of feeling. But then to come back and move in next door and not say hello to you, and he's working for next door now and he's working for the rival business, it's like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, this part of me thinks Cristiano Ronaldo doesn't need this. Yeah. He's already won the equal most Champions Leagues ever, I think. Was it 5 that he's won? Yeah. He's already won the Euros with Portugal. He's already won the Premier League. He's already won Serie A. He's already won La Liga. He doesn't need to do this. And yet, for some reason, maybe he wants one last shot of the Champions League and PSG don't fancy it, so fair enough. But other than that, one last crack of the whip at the Champions League, and you're going to sacrifice the emotions of every Manchester United fan that watched you over the 7 years or whatever it was he was at Man United. It's a fucking slap in the face, to be honest, and a proper piss take.
Do you want a bit of positivity? Because we've gone with done deal, because there's some outlets reporting it's already a done deal.
Yeah, like you said, Sky was saying, cover your eyes.
Yeah, so people saying it's not a done deal. Why are you saying that? A lot of outlets are reporting it is, so let's just be clear on that one. Do you want a bit of light, a small glimmer of light in the tunnel? Do you know who doesn't see it happening?
Who?
Wayne Rooney. Wazza's been talking. He says, I can't see it happening. Sky is saying, former United striker Wayne Rooney doesn't believe former teammate Cristiano Ronaldo would risk his Old Trafford legacy with a move to Old Trafford. I mean,
he said we were going to win the league in January.
Yeah, there you go as well. And BR Football, Bleacher Report saying Cristiano Ronaldo to Manchester City from Juventus is a done deal via Portuguese journalist Giancarlo Lopez. So that's why we're saying done deal, because outlets are reporting it, and I hope I'm wrong, and I hope Ronaldo comes to United or just doesn't come to Manchester.
Well, I ain't even got to the fucking actual him playing for City, us being United side of it. That's just the emotional side. How upset upset I am, and just not I'm going to cry myself to sleep upset, but there is a somewhat of a betrayal element to this, and there is, and I want to say this, so fair enough. I may be being hypocritical. I may be sort of changing my opinion, and I always say this whole thing of loyalty in football doesn't exist, because people don't have it towards players, clubs don't have it towards managers, but for some reason fans expect players to have it to the fans, which doesn't make sense. Now, there's one thing leaving to Real Madrid because that's your dream and you get a world record fee for you and you go. I don't think that's betrayal, him going to Real Madrid. But to come back and join Man City when his career is complete, other than a World Cup, which is, City doesn't help that is a betrayal. So that fucks me off a little bit. Now, in terms of how it actually worked, did you ever see, we watched it live in the office, I don't know if you were here for it, but it went viral afterwards. There was the mixed gender 4x100 metre relay. Do you remember this?
No.
At the Olympics. So it's 2 men, 2 women, but all doing 400 metres each. And so basically you have to decide when it's a man, when it's a woman, so most of the teams went man, woman, woman, man as like the relay. Yeah. One of the teams, I think it was Nigeria, went man, woman, man, woman.
Right.
On the third lap, everyone else has got a woman running and they've got a man running. the man was fucking off in the lead. Just went flying past everyone. Went from he's got such an insurmountable lead. That was us on the 1st of August. Man United on the 1st of August, like, fucking hell, Sancho, Varane. Look at these losers. Chelsea haven't signed anyone yet. City are dawdling. What's going on? And then on the last lap, he passed it to a woman, and everyone else passed it to a man, miles in front, and every single man lapped the woman, not lapped her, went past her. Yeah. She finished last. Yeah. That's United in the transfer window. It felt so good. We shot out the blocks, we put it in the wrong order, and now coming toward the end of the transfer window, we're getting overtaken by everyone. Chelsea have finished their team off. They're probably going to get Saúl as well. City have got Grealish. They're probably going to get Ronaldo as well. We're sat there going, well, we've replaced a winger that we needed 10 years ago, and we've got a centre-back. We need more than that, and this just proves it.
No,
sorry, Jay.
No, don't apologise, bro. You make a very, very good analogy as always. It is like the hair and tortoise thing, innit? Oh, we're laughing, and then we've just gone to sleep, and like everyone else go overtake us. There is an emotional thing with football. That is what football is about. And you know me, I can be a bit of a dick around it sometimes. I don't forgive Peter Schmeichel for cartwheeling in front of us. I do think Nemanja Vidic tainted his legacy at United by leaving when we needed him. Yeah. I do have those things. I don't hate these people, but I do think like could have done that a little bit better. Could have done that. I think Owen Hargreaves was a complete knobhead for going to City when his career, like you say, he was almost done with injuries. I really respected Owen Hargreaves. We waited for him for 2 years where he didn't play football, tried to get him back to his fitness, goes to City, plays about 2 games, and he just, scores that goal, slags the medical team. I think, why did you do that? You just hurt yourself with it all. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, this will hurt. This will be sickening to see him in a City shirt. It's not, I can sort of rationalise it and go, well, we had him when he was better. He ain't going to score 42 goals for him, I don't think, anyway. And, he won us the lot, and we can look at that. But then, once you see him in a City shirt, and as well, United fans have always been pretty good to Ronaldo. We've sang his name. When he came with Real Madrid, he got a fucking cheer when he came up. It was a bit weird. He's had all that treatment. Do you know what I mean? When he came with Juventus, me and my missus went, and I have never got to a Champions League game earlier, because she wanted to see him warm up. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's like, come on, let's go and watch Ronnie warm up. I was like, really? I get it, though. Do you know what I mean? So, he has this reverence with United fans. We always talk about him, we always sort of, praise him. He's the last player we've had to win a Ballon d'Or whilst at the club. And it's like, he obviously isn't asked about that. I get it, I understand why this happens. I'm not saying, I can't believe it's happened. I understand it, but it still doesn't make it right or make it an easy pill to swallow. And it just feels like, you look at that team and you think of that great 2008 team. Hargreaves, Tevez have already played for City, now Ronaldo as well. I mean, it is just a bit shit.
And you made a point earlier on, when you look at, obviously, legend is, I don't necessarily think he's a United legend in terms of he didn't stay as long as Scholes, he didn't win as much as Giggs, he didn't win as much as Rio or, whatever. But when you look at the best players to ever play for Manchester United, like you said, he won the Ballon d'Or in 2008. The last person that had won the Ballon d'Or for Manchester United was in the 60s. He was the first time the best player in the world had played for United in 40 years. And then, that's the measure and the stature of Cristiano Ronaldo at United. I think he's the second highest single goals in a season since Dennis Law. Yeah. Only beaten by Ruud van Nistelrooy. It's like he's such a huge part of the success and the legacy of Manchester United in recent times, and seeing him go to City, obviously it's not Liverpool, that's the only way it could be any worse, but it's just such a fucking slap in the face, isn't it?
It is, and I think, United fans have every right to be angry about this and every right to be upset and think, what, this is just a kick, like you say, a smack in the face. We can't pretend this is like, if he came back to the Premier League, went to Chelsea or whatever, or, anyone but Liverpool, Leeds or City, you'd forgive it and go, all right, then, fair enough, especially if we've not gone for him.
Went to Spurs or something.
Yeah, I wouldn't be bothered. Even Chelsea I could stomach. I wouldn't like it, but I'd be like, all right, I understand it. But to go to City, it's just awful. It really is. People in the comments as well, like some in the comments, Nick Hill says, Dennis Law went to City. It's different circumstances. And also, players have gone to City. Andy Cole went to City. Andrei Kanchelskis went to City. It happens. But you look at the circumstances. Dennis Law was basically released by United, and that's why he went to City. It's a club he'd already been at, and also, Dennis Law was very respectful when he went there. contrary to popular belief, he didn't relegate us.
No, and also it was a different time in the 60s when playing football for a few years didn't mean you were one of the richest people in the world like it does now. It's not the same. It wasn't as easy to just move to another part of the country, move house, move family. It wasn't the same situation globally as it is now. Being a footballer didn't mean, like I said, you were one of the most famous and richest people in the world. He doesn't have to do this for any reason. I'm not saying Dennis Law couldn't have gone to another club, obviously, but the landscape of everything surrounding football was nowhere near the same as it is now.
No, it wasn't. You're right. Alfie Palmer in the chat says Ronaldo's only coming to City for his new hotel. He's got a new hotel in the city centre.
Yeah. But what's he going to do? Live there?
I mean, I don't think he is coming here to, like you say, he's not going to be working on the reception there, is he? So I don't think he's coming here to oversee anything to do with his. He's not Basil Fawlty.
No.
Yeah. So Romano's just tweeted, confirmed Cristiano Ronaldo has definitely decided to leave Juventus and he asked the club to be sold. It also says Manchester City are also working on the outgoings to proceed with official bid to sign Cristiano Ronaldo from Juventus. Raheem Sterling could leave Man City if right bid arrives. Cristiano Ronaldo, he wants to leave, Gabriel Jesus will stay as Pep wants to keep him. So it looks like they're trying to do some sort of deal where they get rid of Raheem Sterling, bring in Ronaldo. Maybe we should go for Sterling. Who knows? I mean, let me go into the comments quickly before we move on.
Proper slap in the dick, innit?
Someone else has put in. Ranieri Ramos says Dennis Law was so distraught scoring against us, he has to be subbed and retired from top flight football. I think that's actually true. Fab said Ronaldo. Yeah, we had the Ronaldo. Richard Little said he's got multiple hotels. Yeah, listen, I think there's people being a bit daft there, a bit facetious. I'm going to laugh.
He wants to leave Juventus because he's got no chance of winning the Champions League with them as they stand, and Man City are the only club that seem to be willing to go after him. That's why he's going to go there.
I mean, I just can't for the life of me don't understand why. With everything the way it is, with the Cavani situation, with just the anger that's there with the fans, it's still bubbling under. I've seen fans already on socials talking about getting Champions League games cancelled and doing what we did against the Scousers. And, I understand that. I think the Glazers might have in this little sort of bubble that they live in, because they're all fucking stupid, where they think everything's all right now, and we bought a couple of players and all United fans are going to be all right. And we had that meeting with the fans forum. So everything's hunky-dory, but there's still a lot of people out there who are like, it's not.
No.
And it's not just about signings, but signings can go a long way to placating people. If Ronaldo goes to City, there's going to be a lot of anger amongst United fans, and a lot of that anger won't be aimed at the manager or the players, it'll be aimed at the owners. So I'm not saying you buy Ronaldo and all your problems go away. It doesn't. I'm just saying this is one of those situations where you look at it and go, this could be something that works. And from a pure football point of view, because that's what I care about the most, it makes sense, because that is a player that could come into this team and get us goals and make up for the fact we are missing it in those areas.
Sorry, and let's not forget as well that yes, we've had the players we've brought in are of a very high sort of average quality, but we've only brought in 2 players this transfer window, and they are essentially the last year's transfers. Do you know what I mean? Last year, when we wanted a striker, we ended up getting Igalo, which, as much as we like him, wasn't good enough. Last year, when we wanted a winger, we ended up getting 2 teenagers who were never going to be ready. We got last year's transfers a year late. The only reason Cavani's the only player that we bought last year that's regularly starts for Man United. And even then, Cavani, who has replaced Martial, but only because his form's fallen off a cliff. Cavani didn't get as many goals last season as Martial did the year before. So if Martial hadn't have just completely lost entirely his whole form, he still wouldn't be starting Cavani. We got last year's transfers this year, and now other teams who also got last year's transfers last year, they're progressing as well. Like Chelsea, look at Chelsea last season. They got 5 first-team players in. And then now again, they're going again. They're getting Saúl. They're probably going to get Koundé from Sevilla. They've got Lukaku.
Isn't it weird, like how they've got all these players in and people go, Tuchel works a miracle.
Yeah.
They spent 250 million fucking quid on a team that had finished, 4th?
Yeah.
Joint points with United.
Yeah.
And they went out in the summer and spent 250 million quid. And we didn't.
No.
We didn't go like that. We didn't bring in any first team players, like you just said.
Yeah.
Tellez weren't first team, Diallo weren't first team, Facundo Palestri weren't first team, Donny van der Beek can't barely get even on the fucking bench. Edinson Cavani was brought in as a backup, but ended up being first team because Martial, as you just said, his form fell off a cliff. That's the difference. And people can go, I saw it on sort of Monday Night Football the other night, and people going, oh, Tuchel had this squad, if Klopp had this squad, we win the league. Would any manager with this squad, be beating City to the league title?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think they fucking would.
No.
I think you're kidding yourself.
Yeah.
Klopp had an amazing team, but his goalkeeping situation was dodgy.
Yeah.
So they went and broke the record and brought in Alisson Becker and brought in Naby Keita as well after they just got Van Dijk. Pep
And then they had
replaced
no
his
injuries for 2 years.
Exactly. Pep brought in Claudio Bravo as his keeper and then replaced him with Edison.
Yeah.
We've still got 2 keepers with question marks over him. We haven't got a DM, which is not all his fault. We just fucking haven't, and he's never had one. And people going, oh, well, if another manager was here, he'd win the league.
Yeah.
Well, how would he?
Yeah.
He wouldn't, because which other manager would come in and beat this Manchester City team with the squad they've got and the signings they're making?
And let's be honest, with the manager they've got as well, because it's fucking hard to beat Pep to league titles. He's, you can slag him off all we want, whatever, he makes mistakes, he bottles it in the Champions League, he overthinks it, whatever. It's really difficult to beat him to league titles, and you don't do it by having a worse team than him that is invested in less than his.
No, I agree.
Let's
completely.
Let's
move on
nicer.
because I'm fucking depressed talking about Cristiano
too.
Ronaldo's move to City. To be honest with you, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has been talking about potential transfers happening, and this isn't how I want a sentence to start when the manager's talking about potential transfers. If something happens, it's a bonus. You never know what happens in the world of football, but we've had a very good window. I am happy with what we've done. I mean, I understand why Ole Gunnar Solskjaer doesn't come out and say, I'm unhappy, the owners need to do more, because even though we'd like him to do that, I don't think he can. I think if he does that, he'll go away Mourinho or whatever, or you just get sacked, or it's not really possible for him to do that and keep his job. But I don't believe he believes that. I don't think he believes that this window's good enough. I think he believes we've got 2 good players in, but I think he knows. Alex Shaw, who's from ESPN, he did a very good piece the other day, and he said that one thing people need to remember is Ole knows we need a midfielder.
Yeah.
Ole's not sat there going, fucking Matic, you still got it, hasn't he?
Hey, did you see that against Southampton?
Oh,
this guy.
This guy. He's like a fine wine. He sees it and goes, we need a fucking midfielder.
Yeah.
And he goes to the Glazers and goes, I need a midfielder. And they go, we ain't got the dough.
Yeah.
Or we're not going to give it you. And then there's not much he can do about that. He can't force them to. So it's not as though he doesn't know the problems that basically every single Manchester United fan on the planet knows. It's just that the Glazers aren't ponying up the cash. So yeah, if it happens, it's a bonus. It ain't going to happen, I think that says. Moving swiftly on, Mason Greenwood. Sorry, can I just say this quickly on the CR Ronaldo? BB the real one says CR7 doesn't owe us anything. Glazers should step up and get him. They know this is wrong. United, God, always will be. The Glazers just being typical Glazers. Glazers even.
I like Glazers actually.
Glazers, I prefer Glazers to bloody Glazers.
Just sat there eating the grass of Manchester United all the time. Greenwood, mixed feelings on this really. Purely selfishly, I'm glad he's not playing for England, getting more tired, potentially risking injury, etc. But I feel as though he deserves to be in the England team.
I think, though, to be fair, right, and I've not been Gareth Southgate's biggest fan when it comes to how he's handled Mason Greenwood. I had a bit of a disagreement with a journalist once on Twitter because I said I thought the way that he handled Mason Greenwood with putting him up for press conference when he had to answer questions on Harry Maguire and Mykonos was a disgrace. I thought the fact that when him and Phil Foden had the little indiscretion with the Icelandic ladies or whatever it was, he threw him under the bus twice. He didn't need to do that. Sent him home and then banned him from the next squad and made a bit of a drama out of it, and he didn't need to do that. I just don't think he's handled Mason Greenwood very well. I think he's got this one right though. Because the way he's spoken about it, he says, we're all very conscious we make that progression at the right time. He's just breaking into the team at Manchester United with a lot of responsibility. That's a big thing for a young player to deal with. So Southgate's sort of saying he's playing well enough to get in this squad. Yeah. He deserves to be an England player. It's just, I'm giving him a bit of time because he's so focused with Manchester United in a minute, which I kind of like.
Yeah,
I'm not going to pretend that I think, get him in the England squad.
No.
Because also, these games are, I know the qualifiers or whatever, but they're not like, I think we can manage, England can manage without him, and it's not like it's the tournament or whatever. And I think Mason Greenwood right now, after the year he's had, he's playing brilliantly. Get him playing for United and just leave it at that for the time being. And then at the end of the summer, or end of the season, he can go to the World Cup. I think that's what will happen, as long as he stays fit.
I agree with all that. Like I said, from a United perspective, and probably even from a him in terms of long-term perspective, I think it's the right thing. I'm sure short-term he's thinking, I just want to fucking play for England.
I always think like with like you see like stories, don't you, of players who like a good example would be Theo Walcott. I always use that example. Went to the World Cup at 17, never went to the World Cup again.
Yeah.
Like, what? Didn't kick a ball in that World Cup, never went to another World Cup again. And people always think, well, because you don't know when your chance is going to come again. Injuries, form, not qualifying, whatever. Things can just happen where you miss out. And then before you know it, that's it. Your chance is gone.
Like, do you want to know something? Even look at Rashford at the minute.
Yeah.
His England tournament career is non-existent to poor at the moment. And he's 23 years old and has been amazing for United for multiple seasons. But just the way it's worked out with injuries and form and who's coming in ahead of him, he's barely played at international tournaments for England. And like you said, if he has a really bad injury or, the sort of Michael Owen career unfolds in front of you, you never quite know when you've missed your chance. But I don't think that's the case with Mason whatsoever. He's 19. He's still so young. He's one of the youngest, if not the youngest, first-team player, first-team striker for any of the clubs in the Premier League. It's ridiculous, basically, that what he's doing. His time will come definitely. But yeah, this party thinks it'd be nice for him to get that, especially after what he's gone through in terms of the England squad and the press around him and the pressure and all that. But yeah, he'll be fine.
No, I agree completely. Felipe, I'm a footballer, says, as a United fan, if Cristiano joins City, I will support Arsenal so next season in the Championship League. We won't have to face Ronaldo. So, yeah, I like what he's doing there. Alpha Palmer, just about the hotel. Just a joke about the hotel, lads, trying to lift the mood.
Oh, no, we know.
Yeah, we know that, bro. Big up yourselves, Jay and Joe, made this window bearable at times. Thanks a lot, Alfie. Thanks for your support as well, bro. I'm trying to lift the mood. I know it can be a bit depressing at times.
Doesn't the feel, and sorry to go back to the Ronaldo
go on.
thing,
There has been, just to go on the Ronaldo front, there has been more tweets from Romano. And I wish I had better news for you, son. And it's, one sec, sorry. He's just getting a bit confused there with his reply. He replies to quite a lot of people, doesn't he?
Yeah.
It just says, Juventus are waiting for Manchester City official bids to arrive in the next hours to reach an agreement as soon as possible. Ronaldo wants to leave and he won't be available for next match. Mendes is now discussing Ronaldo's contract with City. It's 2 tweets away from a here we go.
Yeah. It's literally a agreement.
And also, Romano with things like Italian clubs and stuff, that's his forte, even more so than other clubs.
Yeah.
He knows a lot of people at Juventus, he knows a lot of people who deal with like Portuguese players as well. We remember with the Bruno stuff, he was hot on that.
Yeah.
This won't be, I can't see there being a twist in the tail here when this breaks down, because this isn't a club that are struggling for money. City have got unlimited funds, and if Ronaldo said he's willing to go to City, that was the biggest obstacle for me, was would he go? He will. So we're close to a here we go, which is going to be just shit.
And it does feel as well that this, I know I mentioned it before, but this season, this summer more than any other, the whole oil money, big money, like all the traditional clubs, the traditionally ran clubs, even United, I know being owned by the Glazers isn't anything other than traditional, but we're still essentially running on the money we make.
Yeah.
Even now, with the debt that they put us in, the Glazers don't put their money into Manchester United. That Barcelona, I'm not entirely sure of the complete structure around Barcelona, but I know they don't have a state-ran, basically, club. Same with Real Madrid, although there's slightly different there with the whole government and royal family stuff going on there. But anyway, you know what I mean? Bayern Munich, the same thing. Juventus, all of these clubs that you think of as the traditional big teams cannot compete anymore. We've had a decade now where where Man City, Chelsea, 15 years even, PSG, have just stretched the chewing gum longer and longer and longer, just start sagging in the middle, where you're thinking, we're still hanging on here. Barcelona, we're still hanging on to City, to these teams. We're still doing it. And everyone is just falling. The gap is just falling. The chewing gum's ripping. And it's only these gigantic trillionaire owners that can do anything in football now. And it just feels, honestly, like top level football is a bit disgusting at the minute.
No.
It's actually a bit fucking horrible at the moment to watch all this. And just this would be like the final sort of nail in the coffin, or the final bit of icing on the cake, where you kind of go, this didn't need to happen, and it's just a final exercise in the 2 biggest players in the world switching clubs, both going from what were old traditional sort of, giants of the past that made their name on winning things, to the new money, the new clubs that basically were fuck all until multi-hundreds of billionaires came in and took over and just bought all the best players in the world. It's just fucking gross, to be honest.
It is, mate, and I just couldn't agree more. It is gross. And you look here and you think, okay, I know United, you can say, well, we've broke transfer records before and we've spent a lot of money. I get that.
Yeah.
But like you were saying earlier, you know, being one of the biggest clubs with the biggest fan base, you're going to have more money. We've always generated our own money. And when you see like just sort of clubs or nations coming in and going, we're going to buy this to distract from the shit we're getting up to, it does feel a bit grim. And just
the embarrassing debt that everyone's in as well. And United is slightly different. The actual sort of functioning debt of the club day to day, what you would call how the club is ran, the wage percentage to income and all that, is actually pretty good. But you look at Barcelona and Real Madrid, these sort of horrible sort of withered giants that were so imperious and just gigantic at one time now just look like fucking, it's just in embarrassing situations. And then you've got these clubs like fucking playtime for us, 100 million, don't even touch the sides, just shit.
It is, mate, it is.
Anyway,
should we move on? We'll move on. We'll start sort of moving forward because we've got quite a few stories to get through.
Come on, let's go.
And I know obviously we spent a lot on this. Callum Bryant says City fans will be unbearable this season, genuinely heartbroken, but let's prove everyone wrong this season. Up the Paddock.
Let's do that.
Genuine question for you, Jay and Joe. Do you want Ronaldo? We need a DM. Getting Ronaldo at 25 is one thing, but why we would have to pay a massive wage. Would you do it? Yes, I would.
Yeah, I'd do it. Cool. What's next? Let's get through them, Jay, because we're all very sad. I got more annoyed and sad as this has gone on, to be honest. I didn't think I was that arsed, and then it all sort of sinks in.
We're going to breeze through these quickly.
Come on. Here we go.
Atletico won't lower 34 million Trippier valuation. Fuck me, this is making me more depressed. Do you
know that backup right back that we don't need?
But we can't get a backup right back because we can't afford him. Reports claim that both United and Arsenal are interested in him.
Yeah.
I mean, Trippier looked like it was going to happen. Has gone pretty cool, hasn't it? Where do you stand with this one?
For me, it comes down to, would you pay 34 million quid for Kieran Trippier? No, I wouldn't. Would you?
No, I wouldn't.
I think that's all there is to it. I think and I get the sentiment of like you said, they're getting Ronaldo and whoever, and we can't afford a backup right back. He's not worth 34 million quid. He's a decent option. Anything under 20, we can talk. And I know it's not up to me at all, but 34 million quid for Kieran Trippier is too much.
No, it is. It is. To be honest with you, I can't see us spending it, and I wouldn't want us to spend it anyway.
Just one to watch out for the last week, I suppose.
Yeah.
What else we got?
Moving swiftly on from the Kieran Trippier non-event, Saul Niguez.
Yeah.
Do you know what? Right. If we got Niguez, I'd be all right with Ronaldo going to City.
Yeah.
It'd hurt because of the emotional thing. But I think, look at yourself and your team and your squad. And if we got Niguez, Varane, Sancho, that's a decent window now. Yeah. And that's 3 areas we need to strengthen in. We're strengthening all 3. Yes, there's still a striker issue, which is, isn't great. But I'd be all right. But again, what we're saying here, Chelsea have opened talks days ago. United have asked for Saul again in the last 24 hours. He's in the list with Camavinga. I mean, it's just fucking lists.
The list of what? Players who we aren't going to sign.
Do you know what I mean? It's like when we had the list for the right back, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, we had like fucking 1,500 names on it. These lists are meaningless. We had David Brooks from Bournemouth on a list. Did we ever sign him? Did we ever make a bid? No, he was just on a fucking list.
I think we need someone, like you said, Ollie knows he needs someone. I just hope we can work it so, get 6 million for this guy, 12 million for this, 15 for this, and find a way to get that money. If it's literally like the checkbook is at 0 and every single penny we have to spend from now on has to be made first, I think we can find a way to get 30 million.
Yeah.
And have a go with either Saúl or Ruben Neves or whoever it may be. Surely there's space in there for that. And do you know what? To even just keep up with Chelsea and City, we need to do something like that, I think. I think it's going to be really difficult otherwise.
We'll move on. Camavinga, again, this is just fucking depressing me. United remain interested in Camavinga. United has still been linked with a move for the French midfielder. Reports claim he prefers PSG.
Week to go, Jay. We've got a week to go, that's it.
The thing with Camavinga is, as well as having this chat with my dad today, he's not the answer this season.
No.
Get this into your head now. He's 18 years old, phenomenal talent, and I'd be happy we got him because in a few years' time I think he could be one of the best in the world. But he's not going to come in now and move you towards a title challenge. He'd probably play about 20 games this season. He's an 18-year-old who's never played in the Premier League before. And he's also not just a 6, he's more of an 8, I think, and even a 10 at times. Like, he's not a specific like, oh, this is someone who's going to sit in front of the defence. He's done it in the past, but he's moved around a lot. So it says, clubs are interested in him because he's out of contract next summer. Rennes resigned to losing him and they want to get some money for him. But even if we got Camavinga, which again, would be great, it's not the answer to our problems this season.
No, it doesn't
and I don't think we'll fucking get him anyway.
No.
So again, it's just it's not a great scenario.
This is usually one of the happiest, most upbeat
I
shows
know,
on the
I'm
channel.
sorry, I'm so sorry.
But the Ronaldo stuff is really pissed me off.
Syrian Bala says, proper depressed lads, it's heartbreaking, upsetting. Love this club like every other United fan and trying to stay positive, but it's hard for fuck's sake. I really don't know how I can watch the derby. Can't believe it.
That's going to be shit. He's going to score as well. He'll score in both games. And what he'll do, do you know what he'll do? He'll win the derby for them at home for the first time in 3 years or whatever it's been.
Yeah.
He'll win it for them against United.
Yeah, that's the one.
What's next? Come on.
We've got to sell before we buy.
We just talked about this,
yeah,
didn't we?
We know we've got to get rid of someone. Probably Jesse Lingard's the most obvious one.
Got to get 25 million for
before
him,
we buy anyone. And just finally, Scott McTominay, we mentioned it earlier, has undergone surgery on a groin injury that was caused significant pain when playing. Shambles FC us, aren't we? So you've got Scott McTominay, not 100%, throw him in against Southampton anyway. Oh, what's that? He's aggravated a groin injury. Now he's got to have an operation. Could be out for a month or whatever. I mean, I don't know the exact time, but it's going to miss at least a few weeks.
Usually, even without surgery, groin injuries are, 2-3 weeks minimum.
Yeah.
So you'd have thought he'd be out for a month or so. Again, that's me guessing. But surgery, that's a week just before you can play without it ripping open, let alone whatever. I'm sure it's keel surgery or whatever. But yeah, spending some time out. Again, so here's the thing, Jay. Ollie doesn't like to play Van der Beek, so what, for the next month we're playing Fred and Matic?
Probably.
That's the thing, right? Here's the other thing, right? This season, people have a go at Fred, and we're both liable to do that. But if he gets injured this season, and Van der Beek doesn't prove himself capable of playing in the six alongside someone, we've got Matic and McTominay as our two midfielders. That's nowhere near good enough, is it?
No.
Anyway, especially with Pogba playing on the left as it is, or you got to put Sancho on the left, Greenwood on the right, Pogba deep with McTominay or Fred. Anyway, we're focusing on the downsides. We'll win at the weekend and we'll focus on the positives. Get the transfer deadline out of the way. Sign a sneaky defensive midfielder that no one's expecting. Start the season well. Top of the league by January. 21's coming.
Amel Rayo says, if he moves to Man City, I guarantee that Ronaldo will get booed, yelled and chanted out when he comes back to Old City. Yeah, I think you're completely right. I think there'll be a lot of chance going around for Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah.
And I think it's a case of when he comes to Man City. He'll go to Man City and comes back to United, to play against us. Tom Plays says, where's the Fernandes jumpers from fella?
Yes.
Both Fernandes jumpers available from our merchandise store. The link is in the description.
Yeah.
So go and check that out. We've got other t-shirts and hoodies and all sorts on there as well.
Yeah.
Thanks to everyone who's got involved in the chat. I know it's shit. It is.
It's one of them therapy sessions again tonight, wasn't it?
It is, and it's one of the things that fucking I hate about football is just that, there isn't loyalty and players do fucking have you over and, you get emotionally invested in it and it just doesn't happen. But no matter what, we'll be alright. We'll be here. We'll be here for you.
We'll be here.
Do you know what I mean? Doesn't matter what them shout of shit do down the M62.
Yeah.
Well, not down the M62, that's Liverpool, isn't it? Down the East Lancs.
Yeah.
We'll be alright, mate.
You know everyone need a cuddle. Right, come here, everyone.
Yeah.
Ronaldo's going to sit, but it's alright. Come on.
Yeah. There you go. Have a cuddle off, Joe.
Oh, lovely. Look at that bit of hairy neck there.
Yeah. Beautiful. Thank you, Joe. That's cheered me up. Thanks to everyone who got involved in the chat. I've enjoyed it. You know what? We've got some great people in the chat. We appreciate it as well. You've all got involved, and I know it's difficult, but we do appreciate all the support we've had on the channel. Make sure you go and check in Joe out, Joe Smith 93.
Yeah.
You're not here this weekend, are you, my love?
No, I'm away, but I'm sure I'll watch us win from afar. Gotta win.
We're at Wolves. It'll be myself and Andy Tate, and we're getting a Wolves fan in for the watch along. I know. Me and Andy Tate are going to do him in if they win.
Yeah.
He's only little as well, so that's why we chose him. We're not really. We don't advocate violence. Also, you'll have Adam McCullough with the news tomorrow.
Yep.
We'll have the brew as well tomorrow afternoon. We've got all that stuff. Just make sure you go and check it out. Check out the merchandise that me and the boy Wonder are wearing as well. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We've got over 600,000 subscribers. So next stop, 700,000.
Yes.
I've been Jay. That's been Joe. This has been Stretford Paddock Transfers Live. Thanks for watching.